Hello, welcome to the Reiki Den. So my name is Jack. I am the proud owner of the Den here in Winnipeg. The Reiki Den page and group where we find ourselves are also mine, and on YouTube, there we go, I'm also listed as the Reiki Witch. So definitely feel free to check everything out over on my YouTube channel. It doesn't have a lot going on right now, primarily because I am really good at filming. I love being in front of the camera, so filming is not a problem. I'm really bad at the editing part and, putting on the intros and the outros and labeling everything, and I'm really bad there. So I'm working on that. But in the meantime, you're free to check out what is there. There's a couple Reiki videos. There's some tarot videos. I believe there's a really rambly kind of introduction on there as well. So if you guys want to go and check it out, you just look for the Reiki Witch on YouTube and you will find me there. So all of that aside, what I wanted to actually discuss today was the fact that the Reiki Den is officially closing in on its third. Well, we're closing out the second week. Let's put it that way. Okay, I'm only open, like physically open right now, Thursday evenings and Sunday during the day, and that's only because right now I'm transitioning. Okay, so what I'm telling you that it was a good weekend. We're getting through our opening stuff. We're doing all the welcoming and setting appointments and doing all the things. We really are doing all the things. It's been pretty hectic. So one thing that, hang on one sec. So sorry about that. My 2-year-old, as of this coming week, granddaughter is also down here keeping me company, and that also means that she is playing with things that she shouldn't be. So I just have to keep an eye on her while we're talking here. It's no problem. She's a sweet kid. If you hear babbling in the background, she's at this stage where everything is a made-up word or combination of sounds, and she has her own little language going on, and she's the only one who understands what it is that she's trying to say. And it is hands down the most adorable thing, and I think I find it even more adorable than when my own kids did it. So it's been quite the adventure having her and her big brother, who is 3, living with us this last couple months, as things have been kind of getting going with the Reiki Den, and I don't regret it for a second, and I wouldn't give up any of that time with them. Thank you. Now she's bringing me dog treats. Apparently we need to give Dax a cookie. Yeah. You want to give Dax a cookie? She's obsessed with giving him food. Like, we literally have to have him in a completely 100% different area where he can't even get to them when it's mealtime, because Amelia will purposely feed him because she thinks it's funny when she gives him food and then he eats it. And Caden is Caden and will throw his food on the floor for no particular reason that we can identify, other than he just doesn't like the texture. It's not even necessarily that it doesn't taste very good. He's very very texture oriented. So he is autistic, so we do have some different challenges with him. One of them is getting him to eat his food rather than feed the dog. So we definitely have to make sure that we are keeping an eye on things. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. So yeah, Dax has to stay down here with us basically in order to have the kids around. But I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Which is something that I do quite a bit. Being on camera is honestly one of my favorite aspects of being able to do my business like this, to do these videos where I can talk to you guys. I can, we can do lives so that there's some actual interaction going on, which we are going to be doing in the future. I was thinking about doing a live on Sundays where, I'm actually at the den, the official location, and we'll be in my healing room and we can chat there, maybe have a little tarot conversation or some, a Reiki Q&A, whatever we feel like doing. So we're definitely going to be moving forward and doing those things in the future. It's definitely in the planning. The main point, I guess, of the chat today is just to touch base with you guys, let you know how things are going. I've been working really hard on getting some information available to get the Reiki Den to the level that I want it to be. So with some of the paperwork that they provide us, some of it's things like brochures, okay, some of it's posters or like flyers that you can hang up if you want to, put some out. We have a lot of telephone poles, for example, that we have a lot of posters and stuff on, or boarded walls that have been there for years and they're now plastered with like posters for bands coming or events from the city or whatever. So I was thinking about using some of that stuff, but what I did first is print out this one. Okay, so I know it's backwards there. So it says, bring things into balance with Reiki. Find out what a Reiki treatment can do for you. So there is, of course, like, it's a trifold. So there's a lot of information just crammed right in here. There's my contact information there. So this specifically says, in response to the question, what is Reiki? Okay, it says, Reiki is a simple Japanese energy balancing method that is used by millions of people all over the world. It is most well known as a hands-on energy treatment technique, and many people have regular Reiki treatments. It was discovered by Dr. Mikao Usui in the early 1900s in Japan. People use Reiki for relaxation, self-healing, for spiritual or self-development, and to treat others. Reiki is not a religion and is open to all people, regardless of race, religion, or gender. Okay, and then it goes on to talk about what a Reiki treatment actually kind of looks like, where it's hands-on, or you can make your hands hover over the person. You can also do it by distance. And then, what can Reiki do? What benefits do you get from it? So this particular pamphlet that I'm using, brochure, it says, Reiki can produce deep relaxation, reduced stress and anxiety, boosted energy levels, a feeling of inner calm, contentment, and serenity, a speeding up of the natural healing process. And I've seen these things in action. Like, I realize that a lot of you don't have that experience with Reiki specifically, but I have actually seen some of the effects, especially with speeding up the healing process, or enhancing the natural speeding up process. I have fibromyalgia, and I've talked about that, I believe, in other videos, but I've definitely mentioned it along the way here. And one of the things that I started doing when I learned Reiki, because your very first level, it teaches you how to do Reiki to yourself. And one of the things that I started doing was regular treatments daily, which you're supposed to do, especially when you get get an attunement. It takes about 21 days for the attunement to get from your root chakra to your crown chakra. And so it's 3 days per chakra, for what it's worth. So in the process of doing these self-treatments to help my body adjust to having this ability now, I was doing 15-minute Reiki sessions with myself every single day. And one of the things that I noticed was that as long as I was doing those sessions regularly, the pain that I experienced from that fibromyalgia, along with a lot of the other symptoms as well, like sleeping really badly, fibrofog, where you just can't seem to think and keep things together and keep a coherent thought, things like this all improved drastically when I was doing those daily treatments. And then I got lazy and I stopped doing it because I was like, oh, you know what? I went through the 21 days. I am good now, when I wasn't. Because, obviously it's the same as it's not the same, but a similar concept where like you take Tylenol for pain and it works for a while. And as long as you keep taking it regularly, that pain doesn't come back. Or it stays, a lot milder and a lot easier to handle. And then as soon as you stop taking it, it just kind of comes back and kind of slaps you in the face. Like, yes, I'm still here. And, it's really hard to live with it like that. So it helps headaches. I've seen the results of doing Reiki on someone who has a headache or who suffers from insomnia. I've seen the results of Reiki working on people with women with menstrual issues. So it has a lot of different areas that it can affect your body just on a physical level. Okay, I'm not saying it heals you, okay, but it allows your body to heal itself naturally in a much better state. Okay, so continuing on here, it does also say Reiki can help you to feel more positive, confident, and better able to cope. Deal better with stressful people and difficult situations. Develop a strong sense of purpose and clear thinking, and remove some of the clutter from your life, in allowing you to enjoy a better quality of life. So why are these things important to us? Well, what is the one thing in your life that if you could just remove it altogether, you would feel so much better? 9 times out of 10, if you really think about it, it's going to be stress. Stress has this huge effect on how our bodies work. We know there are physical effects of stress. We know that it causes headaches, specifically tension headaches and tension migraines, but all kinds of different headaches. It causes aches and pains in your shoulders and in your lower back, because those parts of your body are incredibly tense when you're under a lot of stress. So by adding in Reiki as a treatment or as something that you do for yourself that helps to add to your own well-being, these are some of the things that Reiki can actually assist you with lowering. Fewer headaches, easier time sleeping, reduced cramping and side effects, we'll say, from menstruation if you're female. It helps you to stay calm in circumstances where you might normally, blow your top, right? Instead of yelling and screaming at somebody, you're able to sit there and be like, okay, I need to step back from this and I need to just breathe for a second and then I can handle it. And Reiki makes it easier for you to do that. Okay. And I know that 100% know that myself. All right. So a little bit of a background as part of the example here. I work in customer service in my, we'll say, day job, okay, my mundane job. And I am a customer service rep for several different companies. So we deal with a lot of people. We deal with people in Canada. We deal with people in the US. And there's a lot of very angry, upset customers that call in, because why else are you going to call customer service except for I have an issue, I have a problem that I need you to fix, right? So we deal with a lot of that in my job. And before I was doing that, I was actually in sales for this one of those same companies. And I will tell you right now, I am like the world's worst salesperson as far as that company goes. I just can't seem to push somebody and just assume that I said you want it, so you want it, and just assume that, yes. I'm not good at that. It's definitely not one of my strengths. We'll put it like that. Okay. And then when you add in the fact that you're dealing with, sometimes it would be technically like a cold call for a telemarketer where you're speaking to somebody who has not requested to speak with you, but you're going to sell them this product, or you're going to try. All right. And I am also not good with that stuff where like, you're not looking for the product that I'm trying to sell you, but I'm going to make sure that by the end of this call, you think that you need it and you buy it. And I'm just not good at that. Like I'm not. But in the process of trying to do all these things, I dealt with and still deal with a lot of very, very angry, bitter, unhappy people. Would I change it? No, because it's the nature of my job. Like, again, if these people were happy, I wouldn't have a job because they would have no reason to be calling in to talk to customer service. And sometimes it's just minor issues that they just need someone to remind them, like, hey, it's okay. And it's fine. It is actually a very rewarding job in a lot of ways as well. And I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying, like, it's just not really something that I was prepared for. And I sure as shit wasn't prepared for the level of aggression that people receiving or making what becomes a cold call, how they can feel. And I wasn't at all anticipating the being screamed at, the name calling, and other additional insults. I wasn't counting on people saying disgusting, dirty sexual comments at me because I was the one that answered the phone. I wasn't prepared for any of those things. But again, it's the nature of my job, and I'm fine with that. I get a lot of what would be the satisfaction from working in customer service, actually, because my job is to help those people become happy again. And I like making people happy. That has always been something that I enjoy doing. So, I like doing this, but I'm also a very, very, very sensitive person. And it is very easy to upset me, and it is very easy to make me cry. So, my emotions can go all over the place. And as someone who's bipolar, I'm heavily medicated, but that doesn't mean I don't still have symptoms that are easy to trigger along the way, right? So, shortly after I started working this job, while I was still in sales, I had already become a Reiki master twice over at that point. And actually, 3 times over because I added in crystal Reiki. Okay, anyways, that's irregardless. That doesn't matter. So what I would do is when I would go into work and I would sit at my desk, we have this little gray box. It's called a dialer, and it's what allows us to call in and call out, and have access to all of these different lines so that we can technically all be receiving phone calls all at the same time. Okay, so it's just part of the physical setup. It connects to our telephones and our headsets, and it's connected to the computer system, the whole bit. So it has it's just a small box, like it's only like that, like it's just this little rectangle. And I will Reiki my dialer every day. Every single day. Are there times I have forgotten? Yes, of course. Because sometimes you get into work a little bit late, or sometimes, something's going on and you have to worry about that. And, as soon as the situation is taken care of, suddenly it's time to get set up on the phones and you just don't have time. But, it's a thing. And I learned very, very quickly that on the days that I Reiki my dialer, I have the best calls. If I don't Reiki my dialer, I am going to get some piece of crap that's going to spout off this misogynistic sexual crap. And it's not cool, it's not. Or I'll get customers, I'll be calling in screaming. I'm not willing to let me work with them to get this situation resolved. Okay, they just want to call in, they just want to scream, and that's it. That's all they want. That's all they care about. And again, that's fine. But I am not the right kind of person in a lot of ways to deal with that stuff. As much as I enjoy helping people and making a person's situation or problem better, and I do enjoy that very much, I take a lot of pride in, helping people. And I don't even like saying it like that, to be completely honest. But I will end up Reikiing my dialer, and then I have these great calls. because the intention that goes into the dialer is just as important as the energy from Reiki. Okay, so when I Reiki my dialer, the intention that I'm putting into it is that every call that passes through my dialer, the person on the other end is going to receive a quick shot of Reiki if they're open to it. Because Reiki is by permission only. So if you don't want Reiki, or you don't believe in Reiki, or your own beliefs tell you that Reiki is evil, or whatever it might be, and I say, I set my intention that everyone who wants it or is open to it is going to receive it, that person who believes that Reiki is this horrible thing, or is against their beliefs, or like whatever it is, it passes over them. They don't receive it. It's not something that you can force on someone else. If you come to me and you say, hey, I want a Reiki session, but I've never done it before and I don't think I believe in it, I just want to see what it's all about. Okay, let's do that. Let's absolutely do that. Well, we can do a full session, we can do a trial session, we can do whatever you feel like you need. But if you're not open to actually receiving that Reiki, you're not going to get it. Even if I'm standing right in front of you, my hand on your head, you're still not going to get it. It's one of the best things about Reiki, in my opinion, besides the fact that it is such a versatile practice. It will not be, it won't go to somebody who doesn't want it. Like that desire to have it, or that willingness to have it, it's almost like it creates a vortex, and the Reiki is just going to like get sucked in there and like fill that vortex. So, excuse me. So one thing about Reiki, before we do finish this off for the day, is that Reiki is not a medical treatment. It doesn't replace medical treatment. Okay? If you have health issues, I am going to turn around and tell you to speak with your doctor. It doesn't matter if it's physical health or if it's mental health. It doesn't matter at all. If you have health issues, I'm still going to tell you that you need to continue seeing your doctor. I'm not going to sit there and tell you that Reiki is going to heal you. But it does allow you the opportunity to heal yourself. It opens that door so that you are able to see things a little bit differently, and allows your body to use those medical treatments in a more efficient manner, whatever it might be. It doesn't counteract anything that you're taking. It's alongside medical treatment. Now, when I was talking about, after my first attunement and doing those 15-minute Reiki sessions and how it affected my fibromyalgia, did it cure my fibro? No, it didn't. And I didn't think it would. I didn't honestly know what it was going to do, but I do know that it definitely did not cure my fibromyalgia. But it did make it easier. I kept taking my medication, kept doing, the things that I had been taught to do as a way of, controlling it, treating it, whatever you want to call it. I still did those things. I just added Reiki. And not only did Reiki open up my body to allow me to absorb that energy, to bring it into myself and allow that energy to take over in part of the healing, but it also opened up my mind, and it made me feel like I could actually do something to help myself. And that is huge. Like, it absolutely is huge. And since becoming a Reiki master in my very first program, my mental health is stabilizing. And I mean, we're going back almost 5 years. But it is, so it's a long process, but it is stabilizing finally. I haven't had any major outbreaks in about a year and a half. Maybe a little less than a year and a half. I did have an episode, not like just before that period, but I haven't had one since. I haven't had any major depression. I haven't had any major or even mild hypomania or mania. I haven't had anything like that. I am probably more stable since learning to do Reiki on myself than I have ever been. But I still take my medication. I still see a psychiatrist. Because I know that Reiki is simply one tool in my arsenal. And that's the way you need to think about it. You know, it's one tool that you have access to, right? So I have anxiety. Okay, that's something that has not, we'll say, gone away. It has lessened, but not a whole lot. I definitely need to continue taking the medication for that. But what it has done is allowed me to open up my mind a little bit. I can talk about my anxiety. I can recognize my symptoms. I can recognize my triggers. So I continue to do the Reiki. I continue to take my medication. I continue to see my doctors. I still meditate, which is actually one of the treatments that was suggested for me, was to meditate, and I do still do that. I am not good at self-care. Admittedly, I'm not good at self-care. You want me to take time for myself? You want me to do what now? Is that legal? You know what I mean? Like, I'm just not that person. I never really have been. So I work really hard to make sure that I do take, even if it's only 15 minutes a day, to do something for myself that helps keep me in line. For me, one of those things is Reiki. And Reiki for me was a lifesaver. A literal lifesaver. When I first left my ex-husband, I moved from St. John's, Newfoundland, on the east coast of Canada, right on the very edge of the island, to Ottawa in Ontario. And I was there for 3 years. And it was the worst 3 years of my life. Hands down, it absolutely was. I'm watching Dax. I'm like, what are you doing? He is actually the biggest reason that I got as far as I did in Ottawa. He literally saved my life. But I couldn't leave it, on a 4-month-old puppy who's growing and learning the world and everything to be my savior, to keep me strong and to rescue me. So I had to learn to do something else. And at first all I had was Dax. And then I got to have this lovely conversation with my best friend. Have you ever heard of Reiki? I'm going to take a Reiki class. Have you ever heard of Reiki? Do you want to do Reiki with me? Do you want to learn Reiki with me? I was like, well, yeah, of course, but... So she paid for the class. And I think she got her level 1 certificate, and that was enough for her, and I have continued on. I finished that one, and I did another one, and I did another one, and I did another one, and now I'm in another one, and another one. So I guess you could say I'm kind of addicted to Reiki at this point. Like, if you could be addicted to something like that, that would be my thing. And I mean, for what it's worth, and I've talked about this before with other people, with the mental health issues that I deal with, I was really, really, really bad at completing a project. I would be so gung-ho about starting this and starting that, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and the follow-through sucked. Okay? I didn't finish pretty much anything that I set out my mind to do, with rare exception. When I set out to learn Reiki, I got through Reiki 1, no problem. Zipped right through it. Had no issues. I did Reiki 2, and I got it, and I got the attunement, and then proceeded to spend the next 7 or 8 months reviewing the material over and over and over and over again, because it just seemed so beyond me at that point. And when I finally felt like I grasped it, then I moved on and did my master teacher. I had never finished anything in my entire life. I graduated from grade 8. I didn't graduate high school. I was having kids at that point. And I went to university, and I was a year and a half away from graduating with my archaeology degree when I was diagnosed as bipolar. And I took some time away from school so that I could get my head on straight, and was never able to finish it after that. I didn't have the same level of mental activity that I used to. And I just never seemed to get anything finished. And then Reiki happened, and I finished it. Not just once, but twice. And then 3 times, and then 4 times. And now I'm in the process of doing 2 more programs that will give me 5 and 6. And I just love it. I just love what it can do for you. I love what it can do for me. I love what it can do for our communities, our neighborhoods, our countries, our people. It has so many aspects to it that are beneficial. I just got a request to send Reiki to the earthquake and tsunami victims in Turkey and Syria. So I sent some, because I can. And any of you could too, if you wanted to learn Reiki. It's kind of like when you say to somebody, I'm going to send you positive thoughts. Okay. So why can't you say to that same person, I want to send you life energy. I want to send you some universal energy. That's what it is. Reiki translates to universal life energy, or universal life force, depending on the translation that you're reading. So I have been rambling now for quite some time, and I do apologize for that. It's just I kind of got into what I was talking about, and I've said a couple times I do ramble, so it's all good. I will try to keep it a little bit more focused when we are doing lives, just because I want to stay on track and keep to the topic that we're discussing. But mostly what I wanted to do was just kind of go over a little bit of this. I didn't read all of it because there's no need. It was just brief introduction to it, and then talking a little bit about what Reiki has done for me and how beneficial it is. So we did not get into the distance Reiki, at least not yet, but we are going to talk about that. I'm going to do a video here for you guys in regards to distance Reiki. I will probably do it on Sunday, just because that's the shop day. That's when I would be in the den, and if I am not there at the time that I record, then I'll just record, because that's fine with me. I do have some clients that I have to work with this weekend, so if I don't do it at the den, we'll just go right from here. So if you guys have any questions about Reiki, about what it is and how does it work and what does the word mean, or what can you do with it, what kind of things can Reiki do for me, or for that person over there if I wanted to give them Reiki. Go ahead, drop them in the comments below this video. I think, going to cross post it, so it'll also be on YouTube. So if you are watching from the Reiki Den Facebook group, leave your comments below the post. And if you are watching on YouTube, please just leave your comments below the video here, and I will respond to everybody as soon as I am able to. If you have questions, comments, anything at all, just let me know. If you are interested in trying a session, you want to know what it's all about, definitely you can get a hold of me. You can write to me by email at Jack, that's JAK, at the ReikiDenWPG.com. So it's TheReikiDenWPG .com. Oh my goodness. Jack at theReikiDen.com. There we go. Or you can hop over to the Reiki Den Facebook page and you can DM me there, or just leave a post on the page just letting me know that you're interested, and we can also figure something out that way. In the meantime, I hope everybody has a spectacular we'll go evening since it's now 6 p.m. here in Winnipeg. I hope everybody has a spectacular evening. Enjoy your weekend, and make sure you take some time for yourself. Yeah, so I guess that's it for today. Love you guys. Have a great weekend.